The Grand Council of the Unified Systems sat in uncomfortable silence as Admiral Tai reviewed the disappearance reports. The circular chamber held 23 representatives from various species across the galaxy, their attention fixed on the holographic display at the center. 3 reconnaissance fleets completely vanished near the Sol system. Admiral Ta said, his gray skin reflecting the blue light of the projection. No distress signals, no debris fields. They simply ceased to exist. The display showed the last known positions of the missing ships, all clustered near the third planet from the yellow star. Counselor Han tapped her claws impatiently against the polished table. The sound echoed through the chamber. This primitive world has no interstellar capability. Their technology is centuries behind our own. They still burn fossil fuels and have barely touched their own moon. Nevertheless, Admiral Ta continued, something is happening near Earth that demands investigation. This is not coincidence. 3 fleets, all lost in the same region. The council members exchanged worried glances. Counselor Rim, representing the oldest species present, leaned forward. Could it be a natural phenomenon? A spatial anomaly, perhaps? Our scans revealed nothing unusual before the fleets disappeared, Admiral Tai replied. Their final transmissions mentioned only routine observations of Earth. After much debate, the Council authorized a substantial military expedition. Admiral Tai recommended Fleet Commander Day to lead the mission, citing his reputation for thoroughness across 17 star systems. We will assemble our most advanced vessels, Admiral Tai declared. Commander Dai will discover what happened to our missing ships and neutralize any threat, however unlikely. Commander Day received the orders with typical stoicism. Tall even for his species, with features hardened by centuries of military service, he had never failed a mission. He studied the data from the lost expeditions, noting how each had followed standard protocols. None had detected any danger before communication ended. Prepare for long-range deployment, he ordered his crew. Full combat readiness upon entering the Sol system. Meanwhile on Earth, Dr. Park received the alert on her secure terminal. The orbital sensors had detected the approaching fleet while it was still beyond Neptune's orbit. She stared at the screen, counting the vessels. 57 ships, much larger than previous expeditions. Dr. Park pressed the emergency alert. Within minutes, her team assembled in the main command center of Project Sentinel, buried 2 kilometers beneath the Pacific Ocean. The facility hummed with activity as technicians monitored screens showing the approaching alien fleet. They're coming in greater numbers this time, she told her assembled team. The wall display showed the alien ship's trajectory directly toward Earth. Their energy signatures suggest significant weapons capability. Captain Lee nodded grimly beside her, just like you predicted. His military uniform contrasted with the scientists' attire around them. Are the defense systems ready? The orbital platforms are fully operational, Dr. Park replied. The lunar batteries are charged and targeting systems calibrated. She walked to the central platform where a 3-dimensional model of Earth and its hidden defenses rotated slowly. 15 years of secret work, all for this moment. Dr. Park remembered the day everything changed. She had been a young physicist when government agents brought her to Antarctica to examine something impossible. A crashed alien vessel embedded in ancient ice. The ship contained technology centuries beyond human understanding, but the real shock came from its data systems. Earth wasn't unknown to galactic civilization. It was classified, catalogued, and dismissed as primitive. The aliens had been watching humanity for generations, waiting for the right moment to make contact, or perhaps something more sinister. Dr. Park had been leading Project Sentinel ever since. The world's governments had united in secret, pooling resources to develop defensive technologies based on the recovered alien tech. They maintained the illusion of a divided, technologically limited planet while preparing for the day aliens returned. All Defense Network commanders are standing by, reported Technical Director Kim from his station. Satellite camouflage systems operating at full capacity. Dr. Park nodded. Remember, our advantage is surprise. As far as these aliens know, we're still sending rockets to orbit using chemical propulsion. Around Earth, disguised among ordinary satellites and space debris, 300 defense platforms waited silently. Built using reverse-engineered alien technology, they were invisible to standard detection methods. On the far side of the moon, massive energy cannons remained powered down to avoid detection. "They're passing Saturn now," announced the sensor operator. Dr. Park addressed the room. "We've prepared for this moment for 15 years. Every simulation, every test, every sacrifice has led to this." She looked at the faces around her. Scientists, military personnel, and engineers from every nation. Today humanity stands together, whether the world above knows it or not. Captain Lee studied the tactical display. "Should we power up the orbital platforms now?" "Not yet," Dr. Park replied. "Let them come closer. Let them think they're undetected." As Commander Day's fleet crossed the heliopause, the boundary marking the edge of the solar system, they had no idea they were already being observed. The alien vessels moved with confident precision, their sensors scanning the planets they passed. On the flagship bridge, Commander Day reviewed the sensor data personally. "Nothing unusual detected," reported his science officer. "Earth appears exactly as our records indicate, primitive, limited to their own planet, with rudimentary satellites in orbit." Commander Day wasn't satisfied. 3 fleets don't simply vanish without cause. "Maintain full alert status as we approach. I want continuous scans of all frequencies." His orders spread throughout the fleet. Weapon systems remained charged, shields at maximum. Whatever had happened to the previous expeditions, Commander Day was determined not to be caught unprepared. Back on Earth, Dr. Park watched the aliens approach with grim determination. Soon, the visitors would discover humanity wasn't as primitive as they believed. The question was whether first contact would end in peace or become the opening battle of an interstellar war. "They're approaching Mars now," Captain Lee announced. Dr. Park nodded. "Prepare to send the greeting package on my mark. Let's see if they're here for peaceful contact or something else." The moment of truth was coming. 15 years of preparation would soon be put to the test. Primitive communications, rudimentary satellites, fossil fuel emissions, reported Science Officer G as the fleet approached Mars. He stood at his console on the bridge of the flagship, his fingers moving over holographic controls as data streamed in. "Everything matches our intelligence. Nothing to suggest advanced technology." The main view screen showed Earth in the distance, a blue marble against the blackness of space. Smaller screens displayed close-up images of human cities, power plants, and transportation networks. Commander Day frowned as he studied the images. His dark eyes narrowed with suspicion. "Then what happened to our previous expeditions? 3 fleets don't simply vanish without cause." "Perhaps a natural phenomenon," Officer G suggested, pointing to a cluster of readings near Earth's orbit. "Those energy fluctuations near the human satellite field could be solar interactions. Our sensors detect unusual radiation patterns that don't match known weapons." Commander Day moved closer to examine the readings. "Expand the scan area. Check for anomalies in the entire system." The bridge crew worked silently, aware of their commander's growing frustration. They had expected to find evidence of a threat. Debris from the lost ships, unusual defenses, something to explain the disappearances. Instead, they found only what appeared to be an ordinary developing world. "Send probe ships to investigate the satellite field," Commander Day ordered. "Full defensive screens. Approach with caution." 5 smaller vessels detached from the main fleet, moving toward Earth's orbit where hundreds of satellites circled the planet. What the aliens identified as energy fluctuations were actually Earth's defense platforms, disguised as obsolete satellites and space debris. The reverse-engineered technology from the crashed ship had given humanity a significant head start. Each platform contained weapons systems that operated on principles the aliens had never encountered, technology they had overlooked in their own research. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Park watched the probe ships approach on the main display. Around her, the command center hummed with tense activity as technicians monitored the alien fleet's movements. "They're sending scouts to investigate the orbital platforms," Captain Lee noted. "Should we power up defenses?" Dr. Park shook her head. "Not yet. Let's see how close they come." On another screen, the United Earth Defense Council waited in a secure video conference. 12 faces representing the world's regions looked to Dr. Park for guidance. After 15 years of secret preparation, the moment of truth had arrived. "The aliens follow predictable protocols," Dr. Park told the council, pointing to tactical displays showing the probe ship's approach vectors. "Their scanners are searching for known weapon signatures, not our adaptive systems. They expect certain technologies to follow specific development paths." "What if they detect our platforms?" asked the African Union representative, her face tense with concern. "The camouflage should hold," Dr. Park replied. "We've tested it against their scanning methods." Technical Director Kim approached with a tablet displaying new data. "The probe ships are scanning more intensively. They might detect the power cores if they get much closer." Dr. Park considered her options. The original plan called for remaining hidden until the alien fleet committed to orbit, but the probes were being more thorough than expected. A new approach was needed. Then she did something unexpected. She opened a communication channel directly to the alien flagship. "Are you sure about this?" Captain Lee asked, concern evident in his voice. "Once we reveal ourselves, there's no going back." "Better to control first contact than react to discovery," Dr. Park replied. She straightened her uniform and faced the camera. "Transmit on all frequencies they use. Include the linguistic package." On the alien flagship, alarms sounded as communication systems detected an incoming transmission. The bridge crew turned to Commander Dai in surprise. "Source is Earth itself," Officer G reported, confusion clear in his voice. It's using our standard communication protocols." "Put it through," Commander Dai ordered, his hand moving to his weapon instinctively. The main view screen changed to show Dr. Park standing in what appeared to be an advanced command center, nothing like the primitive technology the aliens expected from Earth. "Greetings, Commander Dai of the Unified Systems," she said in the alien's own language, her pronunciation perfect. "Earth welcomes peaceful contact, but is prepared to defend itself." On his bridge, Commander Dai froze in shock. The room fell silent as the implications became clear. The previous fleets hadn't encountered natural disasters or equipment failures. They had encountered humanity. "How do you know our language?" Commander Dai demanded after recovering from his initial surprise. "How do you know my name?" Dr. Park smiled slightly. "We've had time to study your people. One of your scout ships crashed here 15 years ago. We learned much from it." Commander Dai turned to Officer G, who was frantically checking records. "Confirmed," G said quietly. "Scout Ship 447 was lost in this sector 15 years ago during a routine survey." "Recall the probe ships," Commander Dai ordered immediately. "Raise shields to maximum." On Earth, Dr. Park watched as the alien probes retreated from the satellite field. "They're pulling back," she informed the council. "Now we see if they choose diplomacy or aggression." The alien fleet's formation shifted, taking up a defensive posture at a greater distance from Earth. "Your presence here concerns us, Commander," Dr. Park continued. 3 previous fleets came to our world uninvited. They approached with hostile intent. We defended ourselves. The truth was more complex. The first alien fleet had been neutralized as a test of Earth's new defensive capabilities. The second and third had been captured nearly intact, providing humanity with even more advanced technology to study. Commander Dai's eyes narrowed. "You destroyed 3 military expeditions of the Unified Systems. Impossible. Your world shows no evidence of such capability." In response, Dr. Park gave a simple command. "Demonstrate Defense Platform 1." One of the satellites in Earth orbit suddenly transformed, panels shifting to reveal an energy weapon unlike anything in the alien arsenal. It fired a precise beam that passed directly between two alien ships, close enough to register on their sensors, but causing no damage. That was a warning, Dr. Park said calmly. We have 300 such platforms in orbit, plus other defenses you cannot detect. Commander Day's mind raced. Everything he knew about Earth was wrong. The primitive planet had somehow developed technology that could defeat superior forces. His mission parameters needed immediate reconsideration. I propose a direct meeting. Dr. Park continued. One ship with you aboard may approach our orbital station. We will discuss peaceful relations between our peoples. As Commander Day considered this offer, he realized the true significance of what had happened. The unified systems had unwittingly awakened something unexpected, a species that had turned their own technology against them in ways they never anticipated. The previous fleets hadn't simply disappeared. They had encountered a humanity that refused to be conquered. The diplomatic shuttle docked with Earth's orbital station, a structure that had been hidden from alien sensors until now. Commander Day led a small delegation aboard, their weapons left behind as a show of good faith. His 4 officers followed closely, eyes darting nervously at the human guards who escorted them. The meeting room featured a large round table with Earth visible through a curved window. Dr. Park waited with 5 other humans, 2 military officers, and 3 scientists. The contrast between species was striking. The aliens stood nearly 7 feet tall with gray-blue skin and large eyes adapted for seeing in deep space. How is this possible? Demanded Commander Day during the first official communication, his translator converting his clicks and whistles into human language. Your species should be at least a century from developing quantum field technology. He gestured to the station around them. The materials, the energy systems, the artificial gravity, all suggested technology far beyond what Earth should possess. Dr. Park smiled diplomatically. Humans have always been adaptable. We think differently than your species. She activated a display showing the crashed alien scout ship recovered from Antarctica. When we found this vessel, we didn't just copy its technology. We questioned its fundamental assumptions. The truth was more complex than she revealed. While alien civilizations developed technology in predictable, linear patterns, humans excelled at creative leaps and unconventional applications. The alien ship's technology had been designed using principles that assumed certain physical laws were immutable, assumptions humans hadn't shared. Your scientists built technology based on your understanding of physics, explained Dr. Kim, one of the scientists at the table. We approached the same problems from different angles. Commander Day's eyes narrowed with suspicion. You expect me to believe that humans, in just 15 years, surpassed achievements that took our civilization centuries. Not surpassed, Dr. Park corrected. We simply took different paths. Your technology exceeds ours in many areas, but we found shortcuts you overlooked. She displayed images of early human experiments with the alien technology, failed attempts, explosions, and finally breakthroughs. We lost many good scientists in the process, but necessity drove our progress. Back on his flagship, Officer G reported troubling news to Commander Day after the initial meeting. Several of our vessels have begun aggressive scans of Earth's orbital defenses, he said quietly. Sub-Commander Yan authorized it without your approval. Commander Day's facial scales darkened with anger. Countermand that order immediately. But it was too late. 3 warships had moved closer to Earth's defense platforms, using focused energy beams to probe their construction, a tactic typically used before an attack. In her command center, Dr. Park received the alert. They're testing our defenses, Captain Lee reported, pointing to the alien ships on the tactical display. Dr. Park's expression hardened. A demonstration seems necessary. She pressed her communication device. Commander Day, your vessels are conducting aggressive scans of our defensive systems. We consider this a hostile act. On the view screen, Commander Day appeared startled. I did not authorize this. I will recall them immediately. That won't be necessary, Dr. Park replied coldly. She nodded to Captain Lee. Activate Countermeasure 3. Captain Lee entered a command sequence. Outside in orbit, invisible energy fields shifted around the probing alien ships. Humans had discovered that gravity could be manipulated in ways the aliens had never explored. The field created a localized distortion that interfered with the alien vessel's propulsion systems. The three warships suddenly went dark, their engines shutting down as emergency systems activated. They drifted helplessly in space, unable to maintain position. "What have you done?" Commander Day demanded, his calm facade breaking. "We've temporarily disabled their propulsion systems," Dr. Park explained. "No permanent damage. The effect will dissipate in 30 minutes. She leaned forward, her voice firm but measured. "We prefer peace, Commander Da. But we are capable of defending ourselves. Your ships fired energy beams at our platforms. In many cultures, that would justify a military response." The demonstration sent ripples of concern through the alien fleet. Their sensors couldn't explain how their advanced ships had been disabled so easily. Nothing in their understanding of physics accounted for it. That evening, Commander Day sent an urgent message to the Grand Council, encrypted at the highest level. His report was detailed and grim. Earth was not the primitive world they had assumed. Humans had developed defensive capabilities that could neutralize unified systems technology through means their science couldn't explain. The humans appear to manipulate fundamental forces in ways our scientists believed impossible, he reported. They claim to seek peaceful relations, but they have already destroyed 3 of our fleets and demonstrated the ability to disable our most advanced vessels without difficulty. The Council deliberated for just 2 hours before reaching a decision. Their response to Commander Dai was immediate and unambiguous. Neutralize the human threat before it spread. Earth cannot be allowed to develop further. The Council message stated, "Their unpredictable technology represents an existential danger to galactic stability. You are authorized to use all necessary force." Commander Day read the orders with a growing sense of unease. He had seen Earth's capabilities firsthand. A direct attack seemed doomed to failure. He called his senior officers to the command deck. "The Council has ordered us to attack Earth," he informed them. "They believe the human advantage is limited and can be overwhelmed by superior numbers." Officer G looked troubled. "Commander, with respect, the humans disabled 3 of our ships without firing a single conventional weapon. They've already destroyed 3 previous fleets." "I'm aware," Commander Day replied grimly. "But our orders are clear." He studied the tactical display showing Earth and its defenses. Something about the human approach bothered him deeply. Their technology didn't just seem advanced. It seemed to operate on different principles entirely. "Prepare battle formations," he ordered reluctantly, "but maintain distance until reinforcements arrive." On Earth, Dr. Park received intelligence about the Council's decision through hidden monitoring devices placed on the alien flagship during the diplomatic meeting. "They're planning to attack," she informed the Earth Defense Council. "Their reinforcements will arrive within 5 days." "Are our defenses ready for a full-scale invasion?" asked the European representative. Dr. Park nodded. "Yes, but there will be casualties. They'll throw everything at us now." She looked at the global defense grid displayed on the main screen. Platforms in orbit, hidden bases on the moon, underwater installations, and ground-based facilities concealed around the world. 15 years of preparation were about to be tested against the full might of an interstellar civilization. "Alert all commands," she ordered. "We're moving to Defense Condition 1. Across Earth, military forces mobilized quietly. Civilians remained unaware as the planet prepared for its first interstellar war. The human advantage was about to face its greatest test. The sky above Earth lit up with hundreds of flashes as the invasion force arrived. Massive warships appearing suddenly beyond the moon. The alien armada dwarfed anything humans had seen before. Nearly 400 vessels arranged in perfect battle formation, their hulls gleaming in the sunlight. In Commander Day's place stood Grand Admiral Sun, sent by the Council to ensure victory. His flagship was 3 times larger than any previous vessel seen near Earth, bristling with weapons designed to overwhelm planetary defenses. "Begin the approach," Grand Admiral Sun ordered, his voice cold and confident. "All ships maintain formation. Target their orbital platforms first, then major population centers." The alien fleet moved with practiced precision, spreading into a hemisphere that would allow them to attack Earth from all angles simultaneously. Their sensors probed the planet, seeking vulnerabilities in its defenses. 2 kilometers beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Park stood calmly in the Global Command Center. Massive screens showed the approaching armada from multiple angles. The room was silent except for the quiet beeping of computers and the occasional status report. "They'd brought everything they have," Captain Lee observed, studying the tactical display. "Nearly 400 warships." Dr. Park nodded, her expression determined rather than fearful. "As we expected. Activate the phase shields." Her order traveled instantly through the command network. Around the planet, concealed installations powered up, projecting an energy field that operated in dimensions the aliens couldn't detect, let alone penetrate. Unlike conventional shields that blocked energy or matter, phase shields shifted protected areas slightly out of normal spacetime, a concept the aliens had never explored. "Phase shields at full power," reported Technical Director Kim. "All defense platforms ready." On the main screen, the alien fleet continued its approach, unaware that their sensors were now receiving slightly delayed information. What they saw was Earth as it had been moments ago, before the shields activated. In a base hidden beneath the lunar surface, Captain Lee sat at his command station. Through the base's specialized sensors, he watched the alien fleet's movement patterns. "The enemy is using standard attack formations," he reported to Dr. Park over the secure link. "Exactly as shown in the records from the captured scout ship. Deploying countermeasures now." He activated a series of commands. Across Earth orbit, hidden defense platforms came to life. But instead of firing conventional weapons, they projected gravitational distortion fields precisely calculated to disrupt the aliens' formation. Earth's defense wasn't just technological but tactical. Humans had studied potential alien warfare strategies for 15 years and developed responses specifically designed to exploit their expectations. The aliens fought wars according to principles developed over thousands of years, principles that now made them predictable. "First wave approaching weapons range," announced a sensor operator in the command center. "They're charging main cannons." Dr. Park didn't flinch. "Activate quantum mirrors." The aliens fired, hundreds of energy beams streaking toward Earth simultaneously. Each targeted a major city or military installation. But the beams never reached their targets. The quantum mirrors, another technology based on principles the aliens had overlooked, reflected the energy attacks back toward the fleet, scattering them to cause minimal damage but maximum confusion. On his flagship, Grand Admiral Sun watched in disbelief as his first attack failed completely. "What happened?" he demanded. "Where did our energy beams go?" "Unknown, Admiral," his weapons officer replied, frantically checking systems. "All weapons fired correctly, but the beams simply vanished before reaching the atmosphere." "Launch fighter squadrons," the Admiral ordered. "Begin the second attack wave." Thousands of smaller craft poured from the larger ships, streaking toward Earth in tight formations. They were designed to overwhelm point defenses through sheer numbers. Dr. Park watched calmly. "Activate the gravitational corridors." This was humanity's most ingenious defense. By manipulating gravity in ways the aliens had never imagined possible, humans created invisible tunnels in space, corridors that would pull small craft into predetermined paths regardless of their pilots' intentions. The alien fighters suddenly found themselves unable to maintain formation. Invisible forces pulled them into strange patterns, separating them from their squadrons and drawing them toward waiting defensive platforms. Confusion spread through the fighter groups as pilots lost control of their craft. "Their formations are breaking," Captain Lee reported from the lunar base. "Beginning Phase 2. The aliens' precision-guided energy weapons found their targeting systems confused by quantum field distortions. Their sensors showed multiple false images of every target, making accurate strikes impossible. Their communications became increasingly disrupted as Earth's defenses manipulated the very fabric of space around the battlefield. Most impressively, several key alien vessels were captured intact using dimensional isolation fields, technology the aliens had never conceived possible because they approached physics from fundamentally different assumptions. These fields created bubbles of altered spacetime that neutralized all energy systems within them, leaving the ships powerless but undamaged. Grand Admiral Sun watched in horror as 20 of his largest ships simply vanished from his sensors. Where are they? What weapon did this? His science officer had no answers. Nothing in their experience explained what was happening. The Admiral's confidence crumbled as he realized the Council had catastrophically underestimated human capabilities. "We've lost contact with battle groups 3 through 7, reported his communication officer. Nearly 100 ships no longer responding. Admiral Sun realized the battle was already lost. In just 40 minutes of engagement, nearly half his fleet had been disabled or captured, without a single effective attack landing on Earth. The remainder of his forces were scattered and disorganized, their carefully planned assault falling apart completely. "Order all remaining ships to retreat," he commanded, his voice tight with anger and shame. "Regroup at Rally Point Sigma." As his damaged flagship limped away from Earth, escorted by the few ships still capable of faster-than-light travel, Admiral Sun knew the galaxy was about to change forever. The Council had sent its most powerful fleet to eliminate a threat, only to demonstrate to all worlds how vulnerable they truly were to this new power. In the command center beneath the Pacific, Dr. Park allowed herself a small smile as the alien ships fled. Earth's first interstellar battle had ended in complete victory. The captured alien vessels would provide years of new technology to study. "Begin recovery operations," she ordered. "I want those 20 captured capital ships secured and moved to the lunar shipyards immediately." Captain Lee's voice came through the communication system. "The attack lasted less than an hour. We suffered minimal damage to the orbital platforms and no casualties among defense personnel." Dr. Park nodded, but her expression remained serious. "They'll be back, with new tactics and greater numbers. This was only the first test. But next time, we'll be stronger too," Technical Director Kim added, gesturing to the display showing the captured alien ships. Dr. Park looked at the main screen where the retreating alien fleet became tiny points of light in the distance. Humanity had won this battle decisively, but the war had only begun. The Council would not easily accept the emergence of a new power in their controlled galaxy. "Send a message to all Earth nations," she said. "The time for secrecy is over. The world needs to know what we're facing." The battle for Earth was won. Now the battle for humanity's place in the galaxy would begin. The Grand Council chamber fell silent as news of the defeat spread through the unified system's capital. The failure was unprecedented. Nearly 200 warships lost, another 100 damaged beyond repair, and not a single successful strike against Earth. Species that had been subjugated for generations began whispering in corners, questioning the Council's authority for the first time in millennia. "How could primitives defeat our most powerful fleet?" demanded Councillor Han, her claws tapping furiously on the table. "This is impossible." Admiral Ta stood calmly before the angry Council. "I advised against the attack. The humans demonstrated unusual capabilities during first contact. We should have attempted further diplomacy." "Diplomacy with primitives?" Councillor Rim scoffed. "They should have accepted their place in the natural order." "Perhaps our understanding of the natural order needs revision," Admiral Ta suggested quietly. Meanwhile on Earth, humanity worked tirelessly to prepare for the next phase. The 20 captured alien vessels provided technological treasures beyond imagination. Engineers and scientists worked day and night in the lunar shipyards, reverse engineering systems, and making technological leaps that would have taken decades under normal circumstances. Dr. Park walked through the largest captured vessel, now floating in a massive construction bay on the moon. Workers swarmed over its hull, carefully studying every component. How soon can we adapt their faster-than-light drive to our designs? She asked Technical Director Kim. 2 months, he replied confidently. We've already solved the main power integration issues. The dimensional physics behind it matches our theoretical models. They just applied it differently than we would have. Captain Lee approached with a tablet showing new designs. The first Earth-built starship is nearly complete. We've incorporated our phase shield technology and gravity manipulation systems. It's smaller than their capital ships, but far more advanced. Dr. Park nodded with satisfaction. The Council needs to understand we aren't seeking war. A diplomatic mission is our best option now. 6 months after the failed invasion, a sleek vessel emerged from Earth's shadow. Unlike the angular, imposing designs of the unified systems, the ESS Horizon featured smooth curves and a blue-white hull that seemed to shimmer slightly as it moved, an effect of the phase shift technology integrated into its structure. On the bridge, Dr. Park sat in the command chair, watching as Earth grew smaller behind them. "Activate the dimensional drive," she ordered. The stars around them stretched and blurred as the ship entered faster-than-light travel. The journey to the unified systems capital would take just 3 days, a trip that would have required years with conventional propulsion. When they arrived, their appearance caused immediate alarm. Defense platforms around the capital world activated, and a dozen warships moved to intercept the unidentified vessel. "We're being targeted by multiple weapon systems," reported the sensor officer. "Open a channel," Dr. Park ordered calmly. "All frequencies." Her image appeared on screens throughout the unified systems defense network. "This is Dr. Park of Earth. We come in peace, seeking diplomatic relations with the Grand Council." The shock of seeing humans appear at their capital, in a ship more advanced than their own designs, sent the Council into emergency session. After tense deliberation, they agreed to receive the Earth delegation. The Grand Council chamber was filled beyond capacity as Dr. Park and her team were escorted inside. Representatives from hundreds of worlds watched with a mixture of fear, curiosity, and in some cases, hope. "We come seeking peaceful relations," she told the Grand Council, her voice firm and clear in the vast chamber. "Earth has no interest in conquest, only in preserving our independence and helping others do the same." She activated a holographic display showing the battle that had occurred 6 months earlier. "Your attack forced us to defend ourselves, but we chose to capture rather than destroy your ships whenever possible. We could have annihilated your entire fleet." Counselor Han leaned forward. "You claim peace yet demonstrate superior military capability. What do you truly want, human?" "A new relationship between our civilizations," Dr. Park replied, "based on mutual respect rather than domination. The galaxy is vast enough for many approaches to exist side by side." As the formal meetings continued over the following weeks, something unexpected happened. Several smaller civilizations, impressed by humanity's defeat of the supposedly invincible unified fleet, secretly approached the Earth delegation in their quarters. They sought protection from the Council's millennia-long domination. "Our world has been a resource extraction colony for 3 centuries," explained one representative from a small aquatic species. "We have no rights in the Council. Your victory gives us hope for the first time." Dr. Park listened to these stories with growing concern. The unified systems was not merely a political alliance as they had claimed. It was an empire that subjugated less powerful worlds. During the final council session, Admiral Ta surprised everyone by speaking openly in humanity's favor. "We must accept that the galaxy now has a new power, one that thinks differently than we do. Earth has demonstrated both military capability and restraint. I propose we recognize their independence and establish formal diplomatic relations." The vote was close, but eventually the Council agreed to recognize Earth as a sovereign power, the first new independent world in over 500 years. As the Earth delegation prepared to return home, Dr. Park met privately with representatives from 12 worlds seeking alliance with humanity. "We cannot promise military intervention everywhere," she explained, "but we can share defensive technology that will allow you to protect yourselves, and we can establish trade relationships independent of Council control." Within a year, Earth established the Terran Coalition, an alliance of independent worlds bound by mutual defense. Their emblem, a blue world with shielding hands, began appearing on ships throughout the galaxy. The Coalition provided member worlds with scaled-down versions of Earth's defensive technology, enough to deter unified systems interference without creating new threats. The Council watched this development with unease, but could do little to stop it. Their military feared another confrontation with Earth, and many worlds within their own systems were now pushing for greater autonomy. 5 years after first contact, Dr. Park stood on the observation deck of the new Coalition headquarters, a massive space station orbiting Earth. Ships from 24 worlds moved through nearby space, their designs a fascinating blend of their native cultures and adapted human technology. "Did you ever imagine this outcome when you first examined that crashed scout ship?" Captain Lee asked, joining her at the window. Dr. Park smiled. "Never. I was just trying to ensure Earth's survival." She gestured to the bustling activity visible through the viewport. "Now we've changed the political structure of the galaxy." Beyond the immediate Coalition members, dozens of other worlds were beginning their own quiet revolutions, inspired by Earth's example. The unified systems found its authority weakening as more species demanded the rights humans took for granted. Humanity had not only survived first contact, but thrived because of it. Their unique approach to physics and technology had given them an unexpected advantage, but it was their willingness to share that advantage that truly transformed the galaxy. And across countless stars, oppressed species looked to Earth with something they hadn't felt in centuries: hope. Not just for freedom from domination, but for a new way of existing together in the vast cosmos. The question that had once puzzled the Unified Council, why are alien fleets mysteriously disappearing near Earth, had found its answer. They had encountered a species that refused to accept its assigned place in the galaxy, and in doing so, changed the destiny of countless worlds.